The King of Fighters 98 was released into the arcades on July 23rd, 1998, gaining instant praise from the press and fans alike due to its graphics and gameplay. The gameplay does not differ much from the previous game, King of Fighters 97, if the truth be told. The player still has a choice between two playing styles, Advanced and Extra, with a few slight modifications to Advanced mode. This time, however, when one character loses a round, the losing team is given a handicap in its favour. In Advanced mode, this means that the player's stock capacity for power gauges is increased by 1. In Extra mode, the time taken to charge one's power gauge to maximum level is shortened, and the maximum remaining health requirement for a max super special move is increased. King of Fighters 98 was later remade under the title of The King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match in 2008, 10 years after the original game's release. This was released in Japan as an arcade game for the Taito Tape X hardware on March 2008. Ultimate Match includes additional characters not featured in the original version of the game, taken from various SNK King of Fighter titles. There were also a few additional moves and tweaks added to the gameplay. The Neo Geo AES home version of the game is identical to the arcade counterpart as far as graphics, sound and gameplay go, but it does differ in the customization area. This is like a console port. Now we have the ability to change the difficulty setting, amount of rounds, power gauge levels, health levels, stage select on or off, along with many other options. But my favourite of all is the ability to customize the button layout. I do love the Neo Geo, but I really can't use the button layout the game's default to. I need my Capcom style of punches on the top and kicks on the bottom. This really makes a big difference for me as I use arcade sticks with my Neo Geo rather than the official AES joystick.
It all began in 94, kept on rolling in 95, we were in place in 96, it came to the end in 97, and now it comes, and here we go. KOF is here again, nothing to stop, it's 1998.
Geo Geo CD was the last of the SNK formats to receive the King of Fighters 98, and fans of the system will be happy to know that it's pretty much the same as the AES version, and that also includes all the options. Sadly, the loading time between rounds when playing a team battle is rather annoying, as is the music resetting every single round. This makes it difficult to hear the whole BGM, which is a shame because the Neo CD arranged music is fantastic, easily one of the highlights of the game. knew it was coming, and yes, there are going to be some upset people. However, I have to say this is my least favourite way to play the King of Fighters 98. Yes, the PlayStation version is missing animation, but you know what? That doesn't bother me. What does is the horrible loading times and the god-awful audio. The sound effects and speech samples are so low in fidelity that they sound worse than games on the Mega CD. They truly are awful. Thankfully, the music isn't that bad. There is a silver lining to this black cloud though, and that is how the game plays. Thankfully, it plays really well. It's just a shame that the loading and naff audio spoil it. Oh, and there's an art gallery too, for fans of that sort of thing.
It all began in 94, Tecton rolling in 95, pieces were replaced in 96, it came to the hand in 97, and now it comes, and here we go, KOF is here again, nothing so stop, it's 1998.
I know there's a version of King of Fighters 98 on the US King of Fighters collection, but we aren't even going to consider looking at that poorly emulated mess. What we're going to look at is the Japanese King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match, which is based upon the re-released arcade version of 2008. Now the first thing you'll need to do with this game is go straight to the options and turn off the nasty filters. The default setting is awful. Yep, it's the Vaseline look. In this port you can choose between 2D or 3D backgrounds, with 3D being what you are seeing here. You can also choose between the original arcade music or the arranged soundtrack, which I'm using. There's even the original Neo Geo game included in this collection. I do find that this game is more difficult to play than the original King of Fighters 98, however. The tweaks and difficulty balance don't work for me. Probably because I'm so used to the original. Still, you can't deny that this is a great game. Oh, the glitches you are seeing in this footage is due to emulation. My PS2 can't play on official discs. Released about 10 years before the PlayStation 2 release, we had the Dreamcast port, but this is not a pure arcade port. The Dreamcast version has been given a facelift in 3D. A pretty good looking facelift at that. Unfortunately, the Dreamcast game is not VGA compatible, meaning that I had to resort to emulating it rather than using real hardware. That's why you may see a few glitches here and there. Just like every other port on this video, the Dreamcast version features all the custom options, but it would have been nice if it did include the original music as well. Still, this Dreamcast port does offer something no other version does, and that is the ability to transfer data to the Neo Geo Pocket via an officially released Dreamcast to Neo Geo Pocket cable. So, which version of King of Fighters 98 do you think is the best? Let's take a look at all of them running side by side.